Hi everybody, I am the Reading Tortie and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing the book review for The Megarothke by Robert Ashcroft. Yes, I pronounced his name correctly. So this book hasn't even been released yet. I met Robert at a writing conference we were both attending and we started chatting, about writing. And he mentioned that this book was coming out, so I asked him, hey, do you mind if I review it on my channel? And he said, of course not. Would you like an advanced copy? And here we are today. So this isn't sponsored or anything. Nobody paid me to review this. This is just me reviewing a book that is out of my genre, but he seemed really cool and really enthusiastic about the book. So, of course, his enthusiasm was pretty contagious. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to read this book. So, The Megarothke by Robert Ashcroft. I'll link the Amazon link in the description box below, as well as the Facebook page and a couple of other links referencing the book and about Robert. So, The Megarothke was published by Cinestate and it will release February 13th, 2018. Let me know what you guys think if you guys end up buying it, because I actually really like the feel of the book. Before we even start, I think the pages feel really good. I read it without gloves on, but the pages feel really good and the book feels very nice. I don't know if anybody cares, but I do. So, the book is set in a post-apocalyptic world that follows the main character, Theo, in a first-person narrative as he fights the mounting threat of AIs that are led by the Megarothke and dealing with the impending extermination of humanity. Because that's what happens when AIs take over the world. We see Theo's life as it fluctuates before the war, during the war, and the way it's paced is really well done. So I really appreciate that it doesn't lag, and I don't feel like I'm more interested in either part of the story. I'm interested in all of it pretty equally. So you switch from perspectives, and it's not exactly done like every other chapter as some writers do it, but it's done really, really well. As the story progresses, we see where it all went wrong, and we also see how Theo is a little more involved than most other people are in the story with the coming of the Megarothke. And we see the building crescendo of the first attacks on humanity, and they happen to be really well paced so that the first attack before the war happens right before the final stand against the Megarothke, because it's determined about a quarter of the way into the book that the Orbital, which is a whole lot of other questionable characters that cannot be trusted, as most people in this book, that we have to take a final stand against the Megarothke for X reasons that Theo and his comrades don't quite understand. And the story kind of goes from there. So, really well done. That's the premise. Post-apocalyptic, science fiction, and really reflective on how you would live in a post-apocalyptic world, because Theo's very human. Some of the other characters aren't, but you kind of get to see the different parts of people realistically dealing with something like this. Realistically, I say I don't know how I would deal with it. So it's really well done. The characters are mainly Theo, who is the person that we follow, and it's his first person narrative. Takatoshi, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Matthew, Amelie, and the Megarothke. And then we have the Recluse, Clark, Arya, and Rooftop Cat. I really liked Rooftop Cat. I don't know why, but it stuck out to me. So Theo is really just a good old boy trying to be a good human with outdated tech, because he never wanted to live in such a world where everything is technology. You are connected with each other, your brains are wired up, and there's, AIs that look more human than you do. So he never wanted to live in this world. So he's kind of a relic and just trying to live by human principles in a world that you really can't. It's a very inhuman world, and he's just trying to keep whatever strand of humanity he has left, versus Takatoshi, who's very cynical and sarcastic, and he is just like, I'm gonna die, that's fine. And Theo's like, no, we're gonna make it out of this alive. And Takatoshi's like, that's cute, thanks. And then there's Matthew, whom we realize is the ex-wife of Theo, who went through a sex change to become Matthew. Amelie, their daughter, before the sex change, and then the Megarothke, who is this deity type thing, sentient creature. It's really, it borders, it's called like AI spirituality or something like that, or, I'm sorry, Robert, I'm probably butchering this description, but the AIs that take over, the robotic stuff that takes over, it's treated at the beginning like a god, essentially, and then that's kind of where the cultish mentality takes over, and then we bring about the apocalypse. So it's really interestingly laid out, and I really actually liked it. So those are the main characters, really. Personally, I really like Takatoshi, and kind of, they call him Tosh affectionately. So I really liked him. I thought honestly, Theo got a little annoying. He's a little too optimistic for my taste. I'm like, okay, dude, it's the end of the world. Really? Are you really that optimistic? But yes, he is. And he's very human. And I think I got frustrated because I don't think I'd be such a human in such a world. I think I'd be more like Tosh. But that's just me. I don't know. I don't know how human we all think we would be. I don't know. I'll probably die in the first 5 minutes, so it wouldn't matter in reality. But that's just my opinion. The setting is very robust. Robert really takes the time to build a world, but it doesn't lag. I know sometimes authors can get so involved in building the setting around it that you kind of forget the pacing of the book, but everything in the book is really well done. It's done so that you understand all of the creatures that are lurking around every decrepit corner, and to really build the ambiance. When I was reading this book, I was really immersed in the setting and the analogies that he uses. In reading this book, it really came to me what I was missing in my own writing. So the setting is so well done. The characters, the quirks, they're all built in a very authentic way. So you don't feel like this post-apocalyptic world is out of reach. You have little sparks of humanity every now and again. And the setting is set in like modern day LA. So you get to see where the world was, where regular stuff was happening. That's now this desolate, awful place that you have to fight for your life. And it's so immersive with all of the creatures that you can almost like feel the filth between your teeth as you're reading, just because of how well done it is. So I really liked it. This guy is a master at pacing. I didn't get bored, even with the robust setting and description of all of the creatures that are really well done, and I can imagine them, but I didn't feel the lag. So I like that. The plot is pretty obvious from the get-go. You're out to kill the Megarothke. You're out to finish him off because the Megarothke is kind of bringing about the end of humanity. So the last hope of the human race, which is this little ragtag team of people with the orbital, which are questionable creatures, we're not even sure if they're actually still human, are out to fight the Megarothke. So Theo is a man that functions more on his principles and his moral compass than by direction. And just because someone like Clark, who is the head of their little unit, I think, I'm sorry, but Clark is the one that directs them on what to do. If he tells them, hey, Theo, go do this, Theo will first wait to see what he actually thinks before going to do it. And Tosh respects and really admires that about Theo. So when they're like, hey, by the way, we're out to go get the Megarothke, Theo's like, okay, do I want to do this? And Clark's like, okay, Theo, it's an order. And he says, I'm thinking still. And so Theo decides that he's going to take it upon himself to go kill the Megarothke. Or die trying. And Tosh is just like, it's kind of crazy, but let's do it. Because I don't follow Clark, I follow Theo. I'm like, good for you, Tosh, good for you. So as they go to fight the Megarothke, Theo really sees where his boundaries of humanity lie. And as the building crescendo comes and you get to the final fight with the Megarothke, and he sees people dying, and he sees just stuff that the Megarothke does to mess with your head. Theo stays very grounded, and he's very aware of what's true, what's not true, and that really comes with the territory of him being such a grounded individual in his own beliefs and principles. And as the story progresses and we see Theo getting closer and closer to the Megarothke, we see the building of the stuff that took place before the war, and it plays really well against each other, so that the pacing kind of bounces off each other, and it just gets you more excited as you're like, oh no, this questionable stuff's going on in the past, and then, you know, someone tries to kill Theo, and it's like, oh crud, and then you go back to the past, and a little more terrible stuff happens. You're like, oh, what's gonna happen now? And then, you know, Theo is in this horrible situation. He's like, oh, is he gonna get out? And then you just go back and forth, but it's just really well done. So the plot, twofold, does not lag. Really excited. The conflict, aside from being like humanity versus Megarothke, is really subtle, because then you get into the very real and relatable conflict of human versus human. So you got everybody who still has their ambitions. Even though it's the end of the world, people are still out to get more power, to be friends with the orbital, to do favors for people and stuff like that. So it's really interesting also on the human existence and human mentality, that even though it's the end of the world, we could all possibly die tomorrow. We're all probably going to die the day after tomorrow anyways. I'm still doing favors, and I'm still playing favoritism, and I'm still trying to be ambitious and not thinking about the greater good of humanity, but thinking of my own selfish needs. So it's really interesting and kind of scummy that humans really are the most selfish creatures on this planet. So that's the conflict. The resolution of the book is it's good. I guess that's it. The resolution of the book is good. Once you're on the last chapter, the last page, the last paragraph, and the last line, it really ends in a way that, although it might be a little numbing, you kind of come away from it with a sense of bittersweet satisfaction that it ended the way that it did, and that Robert didn't force the story to end any other way. Because yeah, he could have made it end differently, but then it would have been like, Deus Ex Machina. Something has to make it better. Something has to do this so that we can get this other ending. So the ending is really satisfying, palatable, and it leaves you with a very purposeful sense, because it ends on such an anticlimactic note that because it ends that way, it adds even more power to it, because it ends the way that Theo would have wanted it to. And then, after that little whammy of an ending, honestly, you get the epilogue, which I didn't know was exactly going to be there, and then you just get bombarded with all of these other questions that you really didn't think were going to be needed to ask after you read that last line before the epilogue, which was really good. I actually really like that line, which I will not read because it will spoil it. So the epilogue kind of just came in, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're good. Put down the book, and it was like a pretty little package, and the epilogue kind of came in and just smacked it with a hammer, wrecked it, threw the paper everywhere, and then just walked away. And I'm like, oh, crud. What just happened? So the epilogue left me with a lot of questions, and I immediately emailed him. I'm like, what did you do? What's happening? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm glad you liked it. And like is a very unique choice of words. It kind of just wrecked my pretty little ending I was thinking about. But it was a very satisfactory ending, even with the whammy of an epilogue. And it was a really enjoyable read. Science fiction is not my genre, as I'm sure everybody that watches my channel knows. However, it was really well done, and I could see everything. I could relate to the characters. Even Theo. I got annoyed by some of the characters. Matthew's partner, Phil. He kind of annoyed me from the get-go, so I'm like, I'm with you, Theo. I don't quite like the dude anyways. And it was a very lovely story of something that really is fairly realistic in the world we're living in. All we need is some like godly AI to come and wreck us all. So really well done. I think it's a pretty amazing debut by Robert Ashcroft. And if you guys like science fiction, should probably check it out. It's really fun and it's not terribly long, so you're not investing months and months and hours upon hours upon hours of your life into this book. It's a very energetic and exciting read. So totally recommend it. Comes out February 13th. And so that's like next week. So if you guys pick it up, which I recommend you do, let me know. Let's have a discussion about this. If you guys want, so whoever reads it and you guys want to talk about it, I want to ask you what you thought about, I guess, right when everything kind of goes down, when Theo is looking for Matthew and Amelie. What do you think about Amelie? Like, really, what do you think about that moment towards the end with the Megarothke, with the revelation of where Amelie is and what happened to Amelie? And what do you think of the right before the ending? Because I was really stunned by it and I really liked it. So pick it up, read it, and let's have an awesome discussion, because this would be like one of my first science fiction discussions ever. So let me know what you guys thought. And I can't wait to hear your opinions. I'm glad I got the book, The Megarothke by Robert Ashcroft. You know, let me know. I think that's it for this video. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for stopping by. Be safe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.